Classified France 44 is now out and poised to be a World War II title in the veins of XCOM, to quote strategyandwargaming.com website. It only takes a simple XCOM text search on its Steam page to get over 15 results, reviews included of course. The similarities are there and it's undeniable. That means the comparison is going to be there as well. It goes without saying that being an avid XCOM fan and loving this genre, I was really eager to get my hands on it and start playing. Maybe because I had somewhat high expectations given that it all looked very promising and Team 17 is publishing it. Now that I've tried it, I have to say I'm somewhat disappointed. Take this with a grain of salt. What I'm about to describe are my first impressions from some hours of playtime. I will also not qualify this game as a bad one, not at all. There are some good, even great things about it. And in the end, if you do love the genre like me, you will have fun playing it like me. Just not even close to the point where I would hope for. I somehow strongly disagree with the vast majority of reviews I've been reading. So what's good about it? The cinematics are absolutely godlike. Very well done. We all know World War II history, and taking that and building it into this type of game works extremely well. It was a great idea thematically and the execution is nice. Going from the missions to the management layer that goes on while at the camp was a very good idea. I love the skill trees of the various soldiers you come across. Basically you start at the center of it and it's up to you to build that specific character the way you want to. Make it a little bit more tanky, make it more deadly, more supportive. There's a lot to it and I like it. Gives the player a lot of choices on how to execute different strategies based on the squad of 4 elements he decides to put together for the next mission. It's very nice. Another pretty valuable thing for me that isn't mentioned enough is the performance of the game. I've had zero issues whatsoever and I'm running everything at maximum quality. Sure, these are not state-of-the-art graphics that make my GPU boil an egg, but yeah, crazy good performance overall with no bugs so far. Now that we've gone through the positives, it's time for the ranting chapter. The first immediate thought that popped into my head when I started the tutorial mission was the graphics. More specifically, how bad the units looked. I know, there's much more to a game than graphics, absolutely. Unfortunately, that's also not the case here. We'll get there. This is XCOM 2 from 2016, almost 10 years ago. Does it look better? By far. Sure, the budget was probably higher back then for XCOM, so it isn't a fair comparison. I understand the argument, but my point is that these characters are probably the most important part of the game. Look at the combat animations, they're not good. A personal favorite of mine is when I'm doing a stealth takedown. My unit does some quick Krav Maga breaking bone animation, just short of screaming in pain before knifing the enemy. How's that for stealth? It surely falls very short. I honestly cannot really comprehend how QA did not suggest what I imagine could be a quick tweak, the camera. Default moving speed is painfully slow, but not painfully enough when comparing the time the game wastes by making you wait. Oh boy, I'll get to that one soon. Apparently there's a quick save and a quick load feature in the game. I learned that by looking at the menu. If only there was a way for the player to configure a hotkey to use it, right? It's okay, we'll just open the menu every time we want to use it. The biggest one yet is the time it takes to play, and I don't mean loading time or something like that, no. It's actually the time it takes for you to be able to play, as in interacting with the game itself. As you surely know, this genre of turn-based games always has an AI turn. I've considered cooking lunch while waiting for one of these. I actually went back to some of my older recordings to look for some differences. I wasn't really sure if this was taking too long in comparison to other games, or if there was something missing here and because of it just felt way too long. When on ambush mode, which is just regular stealth gameplay before the enemy force becomes aware they're being attacked, there is an option at the top to speed up the patrol speed. I think it only changes the actual movement speed of the enemy units, but not the whole, wait, what am I doing? Processing time for each unit to do its own thing. Better yet, it takes the same time for those enemies who don't even do anything, like this guy here. Now, if I'm already getting a bit annoyed by the time it takes to wait for 10 different enemies to do something on their turn in the first mission, I wonder how much I can endure when I get to endgame missions. I went back to Miasma Chronicles, and oh my, I was surprised to see how fast it was if the player chose to speed it up. But then I also looked at Jagged Alliance 3, and there I didn't find a big difference, and that spiked my curiosity. Why do I feel like it's too slow on one, but not on the other when they're both similarly moving at the same speed? It was pretty clear after a while that it wasn't really about the speed itself, but the perception of how boring it makes you feel in comparison. Once again, the unit animations, which include movement, are weak. There's no interaction between them, no voice lines while you wait, patrol movement is linear, you know what's happening and where they go. All of this and more combined, unconsciously to me, leads to this sort of thinking. If I already know exactly what is happening and there's nothing exciting or new for me to see while it is happening, why can't I just skip it? Alright, time to decompress. Like I stated when this video started, I cannot qualify this as a bad game. However, for its price point, I most definitely cannot recommend it when there are much better and cheaper alternatives out there. I will 100% play the whole thing still. I did buy the Overlord edition, which contains a season pass for some upcoming content to be added. I also hope with that, some quality of life features are added and some adjustments are done. And again, there are some good things about it, so I'm pretty sure you won't be totally disappointed. Just manage your expectations, like I should have done. On the subject of alternatives within this genre, if you lean more into stealth mechanics, play Shadow Gambit first if you haven't. It's cheaper and it's better. Do you want good and thrilling combat instead? Take a look at Shogunners, again, cheaper and better. And I beg of you, if you like this and still haven't played Jagged Alliance 3, I'm sorry to say you are missing out on what is probably nowadays the benchmark game. It's not cheaper, I mean, it is if you compare it to the Overlord edition, and you should, but damn, everything about it is superior. You can find all the links for these games in the description below. While you're there, click that like button if you enjoyed hearing my perspective on Classified France 44. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, more content around the strategy genre to come. And I'll finish with one last good suggestion. Watch my Xenonauts 1 vs Xenonauts 2 video. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye bye!